Hello everyone, and welcome back. It is day 2 of my recordings of the interactable stuff that I've been working on. And I had some sleep and wanted to continue with the work here on the slider thing here. So there's one event that we are not doing anything with right now, and that is the hover event. I thought we should have a look at that. So that is something that we want to put on the specific actor that we are implementing, because that's going to be totally specific to whatever you are dealing with. There might be cases where things are going to be common, but in general, all this stuff is going to be specific to whatever. So I'm just going to grab this window here. So I'm opening up the physical track bar. So this physical track bar is one of the placeables. It is the placeable because we only have one right now. So this one, we are going to do a few things here. We are going to add an event, mover, hover, begin. Not that one. And this one, and mover, hover, end. So make sure you select the two events. And I'm just going to check if I have some materials here ready for that. I think I do. Maybe I don't. Nope, I don't. Okay. We're going to make some. Actually, no, we're going to do something else. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can totally do this anyway, but we're going to do it this way. So that static mesh component has a material, and right now it's set to be this M generic handle. So if we have a look at that material, we can see it has a color parameter and a roughness for some reason. I don't know why I put that on. So what we're going to do is to grab this material and then change the color whenever we hover over it. So let's say create dynamic material instance. Actually, we're not going to do it here. We're going to do that in the beginning, begin event. That's the when tick. Begin event, begin play. And we want to make sure to call the parent method in case we have something there. I can't remember, but we're going to do it. And then we are going to select the M handle generic handle material. And we are gonna save this material, promote as a variable. So we're gonna create a dynamic material instance that we can change on the run. So this is the handle material, and that means that we can change the material as dynamic material whenever we need to. So when we hover the hand over the material, we're gonna set. It's gonna be on the static mesh component here. Parameter. So we're gonna set this vector parameter value on this, and we're gonna change this to a color. We're gonna make a color here. Make a color, and let's select something yellow-ish. There's a nice yellow color here, and plug that in here. So it's going to create a conversion thing, and we're going to make sure we type in color. So we can totally do this by just creating two material instances instead, and then just select them. That would be, I guess, just as good. And then we're gonna see, okay, it's set to 0.01 right now. So we're gonna set it back to that whenever we stop hovering. So 0.01. And we're gonna copy that stuff here and set it here. So that way, whenever we stop hovering, it's gonna change its color back again to the black color. So let's have a look at how that behaves and see if anything works at all. Yep, it does work. That's pretty nice. Ah, and we have a bug. There we go. Ah, we have that bug. Okay, yes, we should take a look at that. Let's have a look at that actually. The mover itself is getting its position from the physical slider. We're setting the physical slider here. So I'm pretty sure that the way I do this, I'm getting the world location and then inverse transforming that to create a local value. I am pretty certain that the way I do this is going to create a very, very, very slight rounding error once in a while. So I am going to create a helper function because I don't think this is available right now. So I'm going to create that on the BP mover. So it's going to be available for everything. We could put this, and that would probably be a better place to put something like this on a function library. So might want to put it out here instead. So we're going to make a function library, blueprint function library here. My function lib, and I'm going to call this a float around like this. And for now, I'm actually just going to hard code things, but I guess we could give it a number of decimals or something, but just to make things a little bit more, let's just do it simple for now. Something we can get back to. So we're gonna take in a float parameter, and we're gonna output in another float parameter. So this is the in and this is the out. So we're gonna take this in value and we're gonna multiply this by a number. So this number is gonna be, I'm gonna multiply it actually by an integer. So it's gonna be multiplied by 100, and then we can do something maybe like we cannot create default. Yeah, we can actually. We can create something like this. I don't think I ever used function libraries, so this is completely new to me. So let's call this precision and give it 100. So making a local variable called precision here. And then we're gonna round this to a integer. So that means that we are multiplying this up and then we're rounding it, and then we're gonna divide this by a, or we're gonna cast this actually. Just cast this and then divide it again by 100. 100. Can you do something like divide by precision. Okay, divide by 100. Okay. It's kind of annoying that it's because I kind of want to avoid this extra cast here. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna make this float, although it's gonna be two float divisions. Doesn't hopefully matter that much. So we're gonna multiply this first by 100, the precision thingy. We're gonna round it to an integer, and we're gonna cast it to a float again, and then we're gonna divide it by that same. So that's gonna give us a number rounded to two significant decimals. Gonna type in a comment here. Round to yeah, this precision here, we could totally give it something else, but who cares? For now, it's gonna be okay. We should maybe give it a category math or something. I think there's a category. Oh, that's the wrong one I selected. I wanted to select this one and give it a category. It's a math thing. So I wonder how I get access to this now, because I haven't used this one. Okay, so it just shows up like this, math and float. I should put it under that. I wonder what happens if I type in math and then a pipe, oops, math on pipe float, if it shows up like that. Oh, it shows up under a vector. I want it to show up here, math and float. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do this. Damn it. And I wonder why it picks a vector. Okay, never mind. But one thing we're going to do for sure, we're going to turn this into a pure function. So that means it's not going to have an execution pin. And that's just going to make it a little bit more pretty to look at. If round like this. So it's going to be something looking like this. And this is pretty compact, but you know, we could, if we wanted to, set this to maybe a compact node, like if round. I don't think this is gonna make it more compact. Actually, it looks terrible. I'm gonna put it back and get rid of that anyway. So it looks like this. It's just fine. So this is gonna round this value here. It's gonna take care of that, hopefully. Yeah, okay, I will have to test that quite a few times, I guess. So don't worry about the numbers. The numbers are representing on the screen right now is representing the last tick, last mover tick, I believe. So actually, there's one thing I wanted to check here. Yeah, it's actually a little bit weird, and there seems to be something we are missing here with the ticking and the ends. I think I mentioned this in a previous video yesterday. I was really tired and I thought about something. So right now I have the snap to ends distance set to 20, but I have my tick interval set to 2. Let's say I have this to 10 and the snap to ends are set to 20. So that means these two are both gonna try and satisfy a tick distance, a particular tick distance. So what I think I'm gonna do is to require that the snap to ends distance is smaller than the tick interval if it's set. So in other words, if I set it to 20, I want it to revert to 10 at maximum. So 5 would be a more reasonable value, and that means that we can control things just a little bit better. So actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to add this also into our setup here, and I think this is something that we did inside the BP mover. Or not. A mover in minimum maximum events. Nope. It's on the snapshots, maybe in here. Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, we're going to do this on the mover in the construction script. We're going to make sure that this doesn't, the limits are correct. So we're going to say if we're going to get access to the settings here first of all. Let me just move this up because you guys can probably not see what I'm doing. It's a little bit hard to see still. I am looking at the tick interval. I want to make sure that the tick interval is actually greater than 0. So if this is greater than 0 and the snap to inch distance is greater than the tick interval, this one, then I want to set the, well, we could just clamp this stuff here. So just do a branch here and just clamp the stuff. So if this is greater than 0, so right now we are saying if this is less than 0, so if it's, but this is going to say, okay, sorry, I'm just having a discussion with myself what to do. It's going to be like this. Probably a way to do this more elegant, but I can't really figure it out. So we're going to set snap to inch speed, not the speed, the inch distance. We're going to set that to be the clamped float of 0 to tick interval at max, and snap to inch distance as a value. So we're going to make sure that this is within this. So now you can see it's set to the tick interval is set to 10 and the snap to inch speed. Well, why is it not working? If this is greater than this snap to and minimum and maximum, this is the speed, this is the tick interval, this is snap to end. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, we go. I'm confusing the things here. So if I set this to 10, then this is gonna switch down to 10. And if I can set it to 5, it stays at 5. If I try to set it to -1 or something, it's gonna revert to 0, which means it's not gonna try and snap at all. If I set this to like 5 and I set this to 0, then it's gonna stay at 5. So if I were to now the entire slider is 100. If I set the snap to inch distance to 50, then what hopefully should happen is that it's gonna not gonna snap at all. Why is it not? Okay. There's a tiny area where it can stay. Okay, so this would kind of be a switch or something. And I realize this is more in the bug fixing department really, but I think it's pretty important to get these things and cover them so you guys don't carry around with weird stuff and say, what, this is not working. It's pretty important to have this stuff working. at least for now. I'm just wondering what is going on with the snap to end. This is handle snap to end. Okay, so if this is valid, and if this is greater than, then it should start to snap. Okay, so one of these has to be greater than less than equal. Otherwise, it's gonna stay at 50 if you put it exactly. There we go. Click. And you might want to, in this case here, if you wanted to have something like a switch or something, definitely don't want to have it that long, for one. And then you might want to set this, maybe the snap to take, that was the wrong one I said. Well, let's say 10 again. Set the snap ends to ends distance 50. Oh, by the way, it's not supposed to be over half. Okay, that's something we should actually also deal with. So if you see, now it snaps. Oops. So it's gonna jump back. And if we pull it over, it's gonna jump to the other side. Very nice. I like that behavior. And yeah, well, snap to ends distance. Okay, but anyway, if this is false, okay, I'm gonna put it here. Because we also need to make sure that the snap to ends distance, we want to make another set at the end here. And then we're gonna reroute this one down here and say, oops, run this anyway, and then make sure that we clamp this float to be within. I can pull this from here, between half of the, because otherwise it wouldn't really make sense. So say half of the limit times 0.5. Hope this is making sense. Okay, so let's give it a test and say if we give this, let's say 60, it should revert to 50. So if we have the limit changed to 60, then it should be 30. So it seems to be working pretty good. I wonder if I do anything with the value, let's say I say 25, then the end, what is my value? It's going to be 25. Okay, that's cool. Seems to be working. Let's do another test. That if we turn on tick interval and keep on snap tick interval, so let's say 10, and test out what happens if I move it like here. See, that was something missing. There was supposed to be a click here. Here it is. Here it was, and here it's not. So we're missing. There's a slight error here. and I hear it double sometimes. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm gonna spend a little bit time on this, and then I'm gonna end the video here. I think this is gonna annoy the hell out of me if I don't do it now. So on the mover tick here, not that one, sorry. The event graph somewhere here. Where do we do that? Delegate mover tick. Okay. So we have a check here. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Yeah, what the logic right now says, if the value or the distance from the last tick mover is greater than the tick interval, then it should fire a on mover tick. That by itself is okay, but the thing is, once we move it again, we're also making a check here, and I can't remember if I did this off video because I don't seem to remember I did that. I may have fiddled a little bit with it after I ended the recording of the last video, but it's not working because I hear this double tick sometimes, and sometimes I don't hear it. So we're gonna do something. Let me just check something. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I thought I was changing this. Okay, so this one is going to be a greater than or equal to. That looks more correct to me. So it's gonna. That is the reason why it's not always hitting that single one when it's right on the edge. So that would fix that one. But now we also hear it 2 times, and that is the problem with the do ones here, because I'm setting resetting the open as soon as I hit the false, and that by itself is not a good idea. So we're going to do something different. We're going to get rid of that, and then we're going to make a gate here. So we're going to go out here and up here again, and let's see, we are going to open it if this is false. Yes. And then we're going to close it again when we hit it the first time. So we can do something like this. Let's see if we can make it look a little bit more pretty. Okay. Oh, what a fail. I failed at that. Okay, I'm okay with something looking like this, I think. Looks pretty cool to me. Let's see if this works. I'm sure there's another way of doing this. So it's ticking on each side, and when I let go of the other ends, it's also working. And the switching also works. As far as I can tell, it's okay now. So I think that is actually what I had for this video. we could add one extra thing, since these videos are becoming a little bit longer than normal. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be all right. So, and I'm just missing feedback on the motion controller itself. So what I would do on the physical trackbar, all the way up here, what I want to do is to change the, or just give the motion controller a little bit of feedback. So on my motion controller, actually what I'm going to do is to move a tick here. I'm gonna say I have a reference to the motion controller, and I'm gonna check if this is valid. So if this is valid, then I'm gonna get the parent, get owner, actually owner. Target is actor component. Get owner, I think this is correct, and then I'm gonna send a message. It's mover tick like this, and then I am simply just gonna use this same interface on the motion controller itself. So actually, now that it's called iMovable actor, I don't like the name, but that's another story. So we're going to find the motion controller and add in this interface, iMovable actor, and we're going to implement that interface function. So it's event mover tick, and we're just going to call the rumble function. What's a rumble function? I know that. Oh, there it is. Rumble controller. This one. And let's give it 0.6 or something. Yeah, and you can't really feel this, but it's making the little bzz, bzz every time I pass a tick. So in order to really feel what it's like, if it's so it seems like a real controller or something, I'm gonna set the tick interval to something as low as 4. Maybe you can hear because my controller is kind of broken. And it stops rumbling as soon as I let go. And it just makes the click sound. That makes pretty good sense because now I'm not holding it, so it's kind of simulating that you're holding something that makes this little click. Yeah, so I'm pretty satisfied with this. We're gonna go with this. Yeah, I don't think I have anything more for the slider right now I can think of. Maybe we could do something with the return stuff. But there are several ways to implement that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can do something like that in the next video, I think. But I also want to switch to start working on the rotator thing, because that is really interesting. There's a lot of challenges with that and different ways you can approach that. I think which yeah, it's going to take quite a few videos to get through because yeah, I'm thinking about doing 2 implementations, but that's for next video. Thank you for sticking around. See you in the next.